we have to simplify algebraic fractions involving quadratic functions as the denominator. So how to do that? The first thing to do is you must determine what is your common denominator. So what do you think is the common denominator here? R. This is a 9. R minus 9 square. So when you have a term here and you have a square of the term, the common denominator will be the square of that term. It can be just R and R squared. It can be R and R squared. The common denominator will be R squared. So it's R minus 9, R minus 9 squared. The common denominator is R minus 9 squared. So this in your textbook, page 17, we are doing question 5F. So how do we get R minus 9 squared? Okay, remember we have to bracket everything when we do algebraic fractions. What must we multiply here? We are short of R minus 9. In order to get R minus 9 squared, right, we have to multiply R minus 9. So if I multiply R minus 9 at the denominator, what must I do at the numerator? I must also multiply by R minus 9. Okay, having done that, let's expand the numerator. We will have 7 bracket R minus 9. And down here is very simple, just minus 2. Okay, expanding, I will have 7R minus 63 minus 2 over R minus 9 squared. And that will give me 7R minus 65 over R minus 9 squared. Okay, you have to check something. You have to check whether can I factorize anymore. Because I mean, be able to cancel. Can I factorize anymore? The answer is, okay, there's nothing else to factorize already. We will end the last step here. Okay, so the first thing to check, can I factorize? The next thing to check is your denominator must be in a factorized form. You cannot expand it. If you expand it, you will not get the answer mark. Now, the next question here. The denominator looks like they have nothing in common, right? So how do I start the question first? What is the first thing that we need to do? Yes, we must always factorize first. We must always factorize first. Whenever you have quadratic function, you must always factorize first. So, as a side working, we need to do a factorization. Do you all remember how to factorize? What must I put here? W squared plus 1 minus 2W. Or you can do a tic-tac-toe. Okay, and I will have a W squared. And what do I put here? 1. This is the number. Okay. So let's fill in the blanks. Okay, I will start with the frame method. I will have W and W that will give me W squared. Okay, you don't have to put negative W because it doesn't make any difference. Just if it's positive W squared, just W. Okay, 1 is very simple, right? Because 1, there's only one factor only, which is 1. Okay, so if I multiply, I have 1W and I have 1W. So the question is negative 2W. So what must I do here? I need negative 2W. I have to put a minus sign and I have to put a minus sign because I need negative 2W. So my factorization is done. Later I will write down what are the factors. For this case, cross multiply method, I will have, or cross factorization method, I will have W multiplied by W. On this side, it is multiply, and on this side, it is addition. Again, it's very simple. Don't bother about the sign first. You realize, don't bother about the sign. Just put 1, 1. That's the only factor. I will now cross multiply. I will have 1W and I will have 1W. However, I need negative 2W. So I have to have a minus here, follow. Minus here, minus here. You must follow, because when I multiply, this term comes from here. So if this is a minus, this must be a minus. So looking at these two, you realize that the denominator is now bracket W minus 1 square. Okay? W minus 1, W minus 1, W minus 1, W minus 1. And the other denominator is W minus 1. Alright, can you try now? So, the common denominator will be W minus 1 square. Okay, after factorizing, the common denominator will be W minus 1 square. So, this part here is short of a W minus 1. What's wrong here? Can someone tell me? A lot of you do this during your homework. What is wrong here? And then you confirm make mistake, right? Do you all know what's the mistake here? Anyone spot the mistake? Yes, you have to bracket. That is why you always make a mistake in your homework, because you never bracket. So if you want to bracket the 7, it's fine too. Okay, I will now need to expand it. So 5 minus 7W, and this is the part that will always be a common mistake. When you multiply the 7, you must remember, I'm multiplying with the sign. So I'm not just multiplying 7, I will always multiply the negative 7 with the negative 1. So this is where, if you make a mistake, it will definitely be here. So answer will be 12 minus 7W over W minus 1 square. Or you can write what you wrote, negative 7W plus 12, or 12 minus 7W. Check. Can I factorize anymore? No. Can the denominator, okay, check whether is it factorized or expanded. It must be factorized. Again, if you don't factorize, I really cannot give you the answer. It must be factorized. You must check whether have you factorized the numerator. Okay, the last example here. Okay, I will go through this immediately. So, what must you do first? The first step is to, what was the keyword? Yeah, you're going to put bracket, right? What do you call that? Factorize. You must factorize the denominator. Anything that has a quadratic function, you have to factorize. If the numerator have quadratic, you also must factorize. So we will factorize the denominator, okay, and we will have 4 over p bracket 4 minus p minus 1 minus p over p bracket p minus 4. So you look at the denominator, I have 3 different terms. If I multiply the 3 different terms together, I'll have p cubed. We are not doing p cubed in secondary school. So you know that something is wrong, right? I cannot be getting p cubed. So what is wrong here? The 4 minus p, I can change it to p minus 4. Or the p minus 4, I can change it to 4 minus p. The question is, how do I do that? Okay, I'll change the one at the back. How do I change it to 4 minus p? How do I do that? From a p minus 4, how do I change it to a 4 minus p? You realize that the plus becomes a minus, and the minus becomes a plus. So what is happening? The sign changed, right? The way to change the sign is actually, I put a minus here. Okay? So you realize that it is now p minus 4. P minus 4. So actually, in order to swap this to here, the p minus 4 to a 4 minus p, I need to put a minus sign in front. The rest is unchanged. In algebra, every step you just manipulate 1 or 2 things only. The rest are all unchanged one. So in this case, I only manipulate p minus 4 to 4 minus p. I put a minus sign. Now you learn in mathematics, can I have 2 signs in mathematics? You can't put as a 2 sign for your final solution. So I've got to convert. Minus minus will become Okay, minus minus will become plus. And now we have a very simple common denominator. Okay, we have changed this to 4 minus p, so it will be the same. Okay, the reason we change it so that it becomes the same denominator or a simpler denominator. And finally, I will have 4 plus 1 minus p. So I will have 5 minus p. Okay, because I'm running out of space, so I just skip one step. 4 plus 1 minus p. Okay. All right, okay, that's it. Okay. Any questions?